Brian Windhorst recently commented on LeBron James's future with the Lakers after the season, and he had some interesting things to say on the Ryan Russillo show. I'm just going to read out a few quotes right now, and then I'll comment on them. There's only a certain number of places he can play. I can see LeBron as a Cav or as a Laker. You can't have a team where you've got three gigantic salaries where those three guys aren't like studs. It's not realistic for a 41-year-old, even if he's the greatest 41-year-old athlete the world has ever seen, to make the salary that he's making. For the last 15 years, LeBron has been very attuned to maximizing his salary because he felt he was underpaid. The max has been very important to LeBron. That's obviously going to have to be compromised. If he wants to be a Laker, he's just not going to do it at $50 million. And that's pretty much what Windhorst said about LeBron's situation going into the future regarding his future with the Lakers, and that he could also be possibly a Cleveland Cavalier. So what I got from this, because we got to first acknowledge the obvious here, which is Windhorst is one of LeBron's mouthpieces, even with this feud they had like a year ago. I think that was really some scripted WWE stuff. And LeBron said what he said about Windhorst last year simply to get people to be tricked into believing that they were not tight, they didn't have a close relationship, when it's obviously due. It's obvious that he's leaked stuff to Windhorst in the past. So I think that's one thing we need to acknowledge, that Windhorst is one of LeBron's many mouthpieces. So if Windhorst says what he says, this means this is what LeBron believes. So that leads us to see that LeBron will do whatever it takes to stay in LA and be a Laker, that he's going to get desperate this summer and even try to get them to re-sign him for the cheapest contract possible, simply because he wants to stay there in the worst way. He badly wants to stay in LA, which I get. The city of LA is an amazing place. I would say one of the best places in the U.S. to live in if you're rich. Sadly, it's gotten to that point in this country where you can't really enjoy a city like LA unless you're rich. But LeBron gets to enjoy the spoils of that. So I get it. He likes the lifestyle there. He likes getting all that attention and sucking up all that oxygen. And if he's not a player anymore, he doesn't get to do those things. So he definitely wants to stay there. Plus, his family is now established, and he will try to stay there at all costs, which will make the situation very interesting because I believe the Lakers want to move on from him. They want to start building around Luka and whatever pieces they have, whether it's Austin Reeves as a piece in the future, but they don't want LeBron to be there anymore in their plans. But will they be able to stand up to LeBron and say no to him this upcoming summertime? It's hard to say, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they will reject LeBron unless somehow the Lakers win the title this year. If they win the title this year, then they would bring him back for a title defense, which would make sense. It would be the rightful thing to do, because if you win a title, you want to bring back your full team. In that scenario, I would understand them bringing back LeBron, but it's highly unlikely the Lakers are going to win the title this year. There's like several teams I think are just better than them, so I don't see it happening. It would take some fluky miracle for it to happen, but stranger things have happened in the past, so you can never rule it out, but highly unlikely. So let's say the Lakers predictably don't win it all. I don't see them bringing back LeBron because it's just not worth it then. What's the point of bringing him back if you're just not going to win it with him? And this will be the 6th year in a row the Lakers couldn't win a title with LeBron. So I think it would be obvious to them and very evident that they can no longer win a title with him, that he's not a guy they want to make as one of their centerpieces. He's already way past his prime. He's now in midlife, literally midlife age. He's middle-aged. That you're not going to have a guy who's middle-aged as like your second or third best player. It's just not happening. Now, LeBron going to Cleveland is an interesting prospect, him finishing his career over there. Cleveland has been really shitty this year. They're 15-14, which is a huge drop off from last year when they won, I think, like 65 games. It's an epic drop off. And I have to admit, I haven't been really following them this year. I've heard they've had a lot of injuries. So that could be the reason why they're so bad this year. So I would assume probably has a huge reason to do with it. But clearly they're not as good as they were last year. So I don't know if LeBron would want to come back there since it doesn't look like they're title contenders right now. Maybe they get things together and they start to play a lot better and finish in the top four in the East. There's a possibility. When you're above 500 in the East, you have a chance to surge back into the standings. So we'll have to see about that. But LeBron really likes to coattail ride on stacked teams, and that's why I'm not so sure he would come back to Cleveland. And even if he wants to come back to Cleveland, I think the ball is literally in Dan Gilbert's court, and Dan Gilbert hates LeBron. That's really the truth. He didn't like him the first time he left Cleveland. He went on that crazy rant, and it didn't even seem possible LeBron would ever come back there again. I think the only reason LeBron came back there was he saw the ability to stack the deck in his favor with them having Kyrie and then them having the number one pick that year in which they could flip for Kevin Love. He was basically lay GM, as they call him, in that situation, which was the only reason he came back. Also, the only reason Gilbert was willing to mend fences with LeBron and give him pretty much all creative control over the Cavs when he came back the second time was he was desperate to get an NBA championship. He really badly wanted to get that title, which was why he allowed LeBron to get away with everything he was allowed to get away with during the second stint and just turn a blind eye to it. But Gilbert did not like not having control of his team. He's a control freak, and that was tough for him to let go, but he did. And once LeBron left the second time, he was happy because he got what he wanted, but there was just no way he was ever going to give control of the Cavs back to LeBron. I think he still believes that, and he doesn't want him back. That's just my theory. I just don't see it. I don't see him bringing back LeBron because he doesn't want to go through that stuff again. And I think there's only a small possibility he'll do it. The Cavs suck so bad this year. It doesn't look like they're a contender. And if LeBron goes out and announces that he's going to retire in the upcoming season, his final year, then I can see Gilbert doing the hokey retirement tour because it's good for ticket sales and whatnot to market like this is LeBron's last game against blah blah blah. Come to watch the Cavs at home tonight and whatnot. You could market it all year and this could just make cash money off of that stuff. So I could see a small, tiny chance in that regard, but I think it'll be very interesting because there could be a huge chance that LeBron won't be a Laker next year and the Cavs won't welcome him back. So where does he go then? I don't know. I think he might have to finally call it quits in that scenario. We've got to hope that the Lakers do the sensible thing and not offer him the mid-level and just tell him that they're done with him. I think that'll be probably the final straw on him. I don't know where he can go outside of LA and Cleveland. Granted, there could be some desperate team out there who's a contender that will add him. Maybe if the Knicks don't win it all this year. Granted, I don't see the Knicks as a favorite, but if they don't win it all, they could stupidly want to add him to their team. It's a possibility. You can never rule out these things, so we have to wait and see. But that's all I have to say about this subject.